All right, we're live, I think. New Age Outlaws. 10-team Dynasty League. We've done these guys before, a couple years ago. Our OG season.
Welcome back.
2023, we did this league. I don't think you guys were on that show. I think it was Zach and Dennis and the other Ryan, the OG team. And now we got Steven and Ryan. And we're going to go through team by team. We got a 10-team Dynasty League, half PPR, half point per first down for rushing and receiving. We're just going to go team by team, give you commentary, analysis of how we think the team is, how we, the direction we would take that team. There's some crazy transactions happening in this league. There's a lot of chat in the chat room. I think one of you guys mentioned before we went live, are these guys all unemployed? Because it seems like it. All right. Well, we're just going to start at the bottom of the standings. And, well, the standings that Sleeper gives us, it's not last year's standings. So we're going to go with the Three Stooges as the first team. We're quarterbacked by Joe Burrow. This is a non-Superflex league, by the way. Joe Burrow at quarterback, Tajay Spears and Rashad White as our RB1s and 2s. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Dalton Kincaid, Wan'Dale Robinson, Trey Benson, Calvin Austin. We got the Bucs defense. On the bench, we got Jordan Love, Jake Browning, Kenny McIntosh, Donovan Edwards, some irrelevant guys here. Jordan James. I don't know if you guys, before the show, I peeked at the rookie draft, and Jordan James went outrageously early. Ahead of Tyler Warren, ahead of Colston Loveland. It was pretty
Somebody lost the bet?
I don't know what happened. Cam Akers, Trevor Etienne, not Travis, Nick Chubb, Jermaine Burton. That's pretty much it for anybody who's relevant. We got the taxi squad, Mitchell Evans, Jim DK, Jalen Lane, Lambert Smith, and Phil Maffa. And we don't have a first round. So what stands out to you guys about this roster to begin here? I like the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase stack. We got Justin Jefferson, and then the rest of it is kind of gross.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm kind of glad we're kicking off with this team because first initial thought, this team was like the Cincinnati Bengals of fantasy, where he went out, got the quarterback, got the 2 receivers, and everything else around it's kind of rough. I mean, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and Joe Burrow is a fantastic start to a dynasty roster, but outside of that, there's so much work to do here.
I mean, if you're starting Tajay Spears and Rashad White as your top 2 running backs, you're in pretty rough shape.
Yeah,
especially in a 10-team league.
Right.
Yeah, I bet this team was built with the honest expectation, like Rashad White, right? Let's go back to 2023 where Rashad White finishes a top 10 running back. Let's talk about Tajay Spears, the draft capital that came out, the hype that came out about Tajay Spears. Dalton Kincaid, you had a young, versatile tight end who goes in the first round. Dalton Kincaid hype, he let us down in year 2. Obviously, we're all hoping for a bounce back in year 3. But I believe this team was built with a winning mindset in 2023. That's where my head first goes. The biggest thing I can say about this roster is that he's throwing shots at running backs that possibly could have some outlier type production. Jordan James, don't see it really. You got to get past Isaac Guerrero. Trevor Etienne, you got Rico, you got Chuba. But just throwing darts there. I always like darts at running backs late. You just never know. But overall, if you're looking to compete this year with this roster, you're probably not.
Yeah, let's go back to Jordan James for a second. Jordan James at the 203 in a 10-team league. So that's essentially what, the 201 in a 12-team league? Directly ahead of Trey Harris, Jaden Higgins, Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland.
Wow.
He's the RB3 on his own team. I don't understand. And he's not even he wasn't even like a spectacular prospect. He was just like the most blah prospect you could get. He's like the Jordan Palmer of running backs.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I guess you can make this small argument like eventually all – yeah. Apparently, at some point in time, all 49 running backs tend to pop off at some point in time. I think that's the logic, but I don't think it is. But yeah, reading this, that's
It has to be a rebuild.
you hate to see it.
I hate to say this because I love this 1-2.
Tore it down. How bad did he F it up?
Yeah, that's my first question. But I love this 1-2 so much at the receiver position, and it's hard to like tear that down. But you have to sell Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson for a premium, especially with no first round pick next year.
How about this trade? This trade happened on May 14th. He traded away Nico Collins in a 4th. He received Rashad White, Torrey Horton, a 2027 first, and a 2028 second.
No. Listen, man. Nico is one of those outlier type players, right? We're talking about year 3 breakouts that truly break out in the league. After year 2, typically wide receivers don't break out, right? Nico did. And Nico is one of the most dominant receivers in the game at 26 years old. Talk about his dominator rating. Talk about his win rate against man, win rate against zone. Talk about his ability to create separation. His yards per route run is over 2.5. He's a top 5 receiver in yards per route run and after the catch. It's hard to trade Nico. Listen, I know C.J. Stroud took a significant step back in year 2. I know they just traded their left tackle. I'm sorry, man. You can't sell short on Nico Collins.
They sold him for nothing. For Rashad White, Torrey Horton, and a pick 2 years out.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to go into a rebuild, like, at least you should get some equal. I get trying to acquire pieces, but you want to make sure they're big pieces, especially Nico Collins. I think right now is probably sitting, if anything, right outside the top. What's up, Sam?
What's up, guys?
Sam, what's up?
Yeah, no, Nico is a top 10 dynasty receiver for me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Top 10
entrenched.
dynasty receiver. You got to get the value you need from Nico to move him off your roster.
And honestly, Nico, just from a talent basis, for me, is ahead of like Drake London. He's 7 for me personally. And I love Nico Collins, boys. Like,
how about this deal? We traded away Cortland Sutton and Cooper Kupp for 2026 seconds.
If you got 3 of them, I'm okay with it, but just one now. It's a little selling yourself short as well.
Yeah, I agree.
But I also hate the 2026 class.
I do too. Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
thing. I'm trying to get rid of my 2026 picks and turn them into 2027 picks.
There's really only 6 prospects that I am like in love with in 2026, and 3 of them are quarterbacks.
I was about to say most of them got to be QBs. The only positional player that mentioned is probably Justice Haynes. That's like, whoa, let's maybe go get that guy.
Nah, give me Nick Singleton, give me Jeremiah Love.
True.
Give me Jordan Tyson. Give me Jordan Tyson. I love me some Jordan Tyson. I do believe Carnell Tate is going to be the guy that breaks the trend of Ohio State receivers. I absolutely hate Carnell Tate, but that's just me.
Wow.
I think he's
not to get you off base here. Sorry,
Sam, I saw you mixing up in the chat a little bit this afternoon. You got anything to say to this league?
Yeah.
Where's the steel guy?
He went to bed.
Oh, did he? What a shame. That's the only reason I'm here.
He
That
went to
fucking
bed.
jerk.
I'm gonna tell you what though, this league chat, I just want to give you guys credit. Y'all are fucking awesome.
I would love to be in a league like this. I mean, I would mute the chat for sure, but the activity, not just in the chat, but the trades are it's fantastic.
Yeah. So
Just how you
I'm
keep
still
leagues
in the
alive.
league chat. Listen,
I almost sent you guys a DM because Chalmers was in there for a long time.
I'm still there, bro.
And I
I'm
was like,
still
your
there.
boy's down here making friends and like
Yeah,
joining
man.
leagues.
He's about to join this league.
Yeah, listen.
He's about to
guys.
make him expand to 12 teams. He's gonna be one of the 2.
Listen, guys, if you're willing to have me, I'll co-commission with anybody. Y'all, I'm telling you, anybody that drinks whiskey, we're good. Y'all are good in my book, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you guys want an easy win, let him in.
this Airgate could probably use your help a little bit. All right, why don't we move on to the Thunder Cunts?
Oh yeah, this is the best
Yes.
name in the league right here, bro.
Yeah, you wanna
You
take this
got
one?
him too.
Yeah, you take this one, Steven.
Well, so I would like to start with this. So, like in a 1 QB league, typically QB isn't my building block for a roster like this. I believe having elite QB play would push you over the top, but I don't believe it's necessarily a must-have in a 1 QB league. And we do have a young QB who I believe can ascend into the NFL as a piece that could be elite. Drake May showed us flashes of that last year, showed us great rushing upside. CJ Stroud, like I said, he fell back in year 2, but that's also another QB on your bench. Love that. Still love CJ Stroud. But the first thing that comes to my mind when I'm looking at this roster is the best young running back pairing in the league for years to come. We have Ashton Jeanty, and we have my guy,
Chuba Hubbard.
Omarion Hampton. I am the biggest Omarion Hampton fan you will find. I do believe Omarion Hampton is going to be an elite running back in the league for a long time.
Are you prepared to spend the entire league year cursing Najee Harris?
Yes. Sure.
You're going to hawk all the touchdowns.
Yes, fully prepared.
But again, veteran deal. Not worried about Najee long term. This kid's coming in the league at 21 years old. He's a true junior coming out of the college. Again, then you look at Jackson Smith and Jigba, awesome Ohio State receiver who just continued the trend with Brian Hartline and them boys. Rashee Rice, great dynasty buy. Again, we were talking about wide receiver 3 over the first 3 weeks of the league. And then, Pat Mahomes decided to tackle his own receiver and tear his ACL. Not his ACL, his LCL, whatever the fuck it was. But he did. He did do that. And then we got Kittle, Ryan's favorite player in the NFL.
Yes, sir. Second as of last year.
And then, of course, you have Mr. Olave, concussion himself, Xavier Worthy, who balled out from
Tua owns that name, to be fair.
From week 14 on, especially in the playoffs, Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, when they expanded his role, he really did.
And then I'm looking at the bench, just some receivers that I'm really keen on owning. Kyle Williams in New England, absolutely big on this kid. Was huge on Javon Baker last year. Again, didn't get the playing time that I thought he deserved. But Kyle Williams has showed me a lot at Washington State. Big fan of him in this receiving core. New England is desperately waiting for a wide receiver 1 to break out long term. I believe Diggs is a short-term answer with some maybe wide receiver 3 production, but we're still waiting for that elite wide receiver 1 to emerge. Pat Bryant out of Illinois, another big fan of him. And then we're going to keep going down. And I look at the taxi squad, and I see an undrafted receiver, but a guy who was very, very productive at Miami, Xavier Restrepo. Not a bad hold there. And we have all draft capital intact with multiple picks later in the mid-rounds. I don't think this team is set up very badly. I actually like this roster construction. Oldest player in the starting roster is George Kittle at 31, but George Kittle is still a top 5 dynasty tight end for me.
Yeah, this team's definitely built to win over the long term, but it has a shot in the short term as well. We could get a huge second-year leap from Drake May with his rushing upside / floor. Genty could smash in year 1. JSN, Rashee Rice, if he takes what he did over the first month of the season last year and extrapolates that over to a full season, he's going to absolutely smash. If Olave can, survive the season, he might just be peppered with targets from Tyler Shuck, just peppered with targets. He could be, solid, top 25 wide receiver for you. I think Hampton has a chance to smash, at least in the second half of the season. I know there's some concerns. There's some concerns about Najee Harris, but I think there's enough. I think there's enough in that offense, in that backfield, where he could smash year 1. How do we feel about rostering both Najee Harris and Xavier Worthy? I mean, not Najee Harris, Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy on the same roster. And do you think that Rashee Rice returning is going to affect the role of Xavier Worthy?
I mean, it has to in the short term, right? You're thinking about this overall roster construction. You got 2 deep guys. You got Hollywood Brown. You got Xavier Worthy. Although they use Xavier Worthy in different roles to get the ball in his hands. He's a first-round pick. He's an explosive option. He's the long-term option there. I don't believe Hollywood Brown is going to be in the long-term plans for them. And then you got a guy to affect Rashee Rice, right? A guy who works in the 5 to 10 yard range and does his work after the catch. That's been Travis Kelce's role for so long. But this offense in 2026 could look so different, right? Take Hollywood out of the equation, take Travis out of the occasion, because I don't know how much longer Travis plays.
Yeah, if they fade Kelsey out, he's wheels up.
This is Kelsey's last season.
So. Right, and we saw one of the worst analytical seasons from Travis Kelce in quite some time. And after the trade of Tyreek Hill, we saw the average depth of throw for Pat Mahomes continuously drop. I believe that they have to get back to the deep ball. The deep ball is a big part of Pat Mahomes' game. It's a big part of his fantasy relevancy. Obviously, they don't care about fantasy relevance. They just care about winning football games. But with the receivers you have on this team, speed kills. That's what they have. They literally have so much speed on this roster. You have to utilize it to some point. I actually don't think owning those two long-term is a bad thing.
I don't think so either. I think they can coexist, especially when you've got I think Worthy, he's not a boom or bust player, but there's always a possibility that he's just going to bust in a blanket coverage because he does run so many long routes. But you're going to have that whether Rice is on the field or not. You know what I mean? So I don't think having both of them is – I mean, if anything, it might be a positive, so that you're definitely getting the points out of whatever and just the supplemental from the other person.
I also have this wide receiver pairing in one of my leagues. I'm in a rebuild as well. I have both, and I feel pretty confident about it. Again, we looked at Xavier. I'm sorry, we just looked at Worthy's overall usage from Week 14 through the playoffs last year, and he. At no point was he ever a bust. He wasn't even playing safe. He was a boom. I mean, this motherfucker boomed.
Yeah, as soon as he started running routes out of the slot, I was like, this is going to be problematic for people,
right,
because he was all over the field.
Right. And this just comes down to matchup utilization and how you move your receivers on the line of scrimmage. Andy Reid's one of the best coaches we've ever seen coach in the NFL. Do I think Andy Reid can produce two fantasy relevant players at the position? Sure. Why not?
He's got a pretty good quarterback, too. Not too bad.
Yeah, he's pretty fucking good.
Pretty passable quarterback.
How we
he does look like Kermit the Frog, though.
How are we feeling about Cam Scatterbo drafted 11th overall in the rookie draft?
Whoa.
Is
he a Giants fan at least?
This is Ryan's guy, right? This is a
hold on. This is my guy at value. Let's not get that straight. I'm okay with getting Cam at like the top of the third.
Right, but 11th overall in a 1 QB league where these guys did not reach on the quarterback position. Look at the players that went in front of him. You know what I'm saying? Or went behind him. I know it's still not the best value in terms of that, but I mean, honestly, Tyrone Tracy put the ball on the carpet 5 times last year, right? True. Ball security is the biggest thing when it comes to the running back position. Yeah, Tyrone Tracy was very versatile last year. Very good. But you can't put the ball on the carpet. That's just what it is. True. Opportunities are going to arise when the running back in front of you can't hold the ball.
What worries me about Scatterbo is he's like athletically, he's just not – I don't know if he can keep up with the NFL game.
I mean, that's a big concern for me in his profile, 100%. Like I have no argument with that. But I do like how he impacted the game at Arizona State in the rushing game and the receiving game. Very good in both. Analytically was a monster in both. It's just his athletic profile. That's what's going to be the big question.
Yeah. I mean, I love Cam. It's just you got to give him at the right value. I think even in 1 QB, 101 or 201 in the 10-man league is the 11th best player off the board. I don't think he's close to that. So don't love the value there. But, hey, I like the prospect. I think he's worth a risk if you're getting him later in drafts because he can sneak into that offense. I think like I said, athletic ability is definitely something to look at. Sam, 100% agree with you there. But as far as like raw power of the position, I mean, he will run through people, no problem. I think he'll find a spot on the team. I just don't know if he'll ever be like truly fantasy relevant unless he wins that starting job outright and phases Tracy completely out. I just don't see that.
And you know who my pro comp for him was Michael Turner. That's who he reminds me of, Michael Turner.
Do you see Scatabo then eventually working his way into being the first and second down back? Because Tracy isn't just going to disappear. So
that's what I'm saying. That's why.
Which one's going to be which?
I think you're going to have him take goal line work. I think goal line work is a big thing for Cam Scatabo. I believe short yardage situations, and I believe that he's going to get some first and second down work. But at the same time, I feel like you could get both of these running backs anywhere from 12 to 17 touches in the game and be relevant. You know what I mean? Depending on your pace of play and the offense. I mean, if you're behind in games, and I do believe Cam is going to be phased out. I mean, but this defense the Giants are building. This defense the Giants are building is so good. This is one of the most underrated defenses in the NFL.
Well, that's the problem here. If they have a terrible offense and you're splitting the backfield and you got a good defense on the other side, you're not scoring any points. How much are we really going to get from either of these guys if they're just siphoning touches away from each other in terrible offense?
Yeah, I believe the hype for Tyrone Tracy is a little high. I don't have him as a running back too. I believe he's more on their RB3 flex role. Like I have him there. I have them both there, to be honest.
Yeah, that was my thing too. Yeah, I have Scatabo there too.
Right.
So, but I mean, how many NFL teams, save for besides like Detroit and such like that, are willing to split the carries pretty much directly in half? You know what I mean? Even if it's a good idea, it's like nobody's willing to do it.
Well, Sean McVay says he's going to do it all the time, and he never does. He can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He doesn't. He just runs.
This is the time of the year right here when every team is going to have 4 people running the football. Every single coach is like, I like him too. Yeah.
It's just a matter of who you think is going to emerge, I guess, who we think is going to emerge. I would put my money on. I'm still going to be Team Tyrone Tracy. I do like Scatabo, but I think I'm going to lean Tracy still.
Yeah.
All he's going to do is fix the fumble problems. He's got a whole offseason to do it. Fix it.
But I mean, back to this team though. I think this is probably the first. I mean, is it 6 or 4 make the playoffs?
4.
4. Okay. Well, this guy might be sitting right outside playoffs. I mean, this is a solid roster for then and now. I like the fact that he didn't put too much emphasis on the quarterback position. Got 2 good values, 202 for CJ Stroud and then 205 for Drake May. Those are pretty solid values in these rookie drafts. Not too much pressure on that position to help fill in the rest. Rasheed Rice, if he doesn't stay suspended, is going to be a rock star. JSN, stud. Got 101, 102 this year. Gene T and Hampton. I mean, those are 2 home runs. I think this roster has got a lot going for it. Got a few holes to fill in with like Olave. Chuba Hubbard's going to be phased out eventually, but you have the draft picks loaded, ready to go.
Why is he going to be phased out eventually?
There's a lot of questions on the bench here of guys that could be like if they all were to catch fire. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole bunch of them who like, we've been waiting on him. We've been waiting on him. We've been waiting on him. Yeah. And if a couple of them do that all at once, then this team could run to the championship. You know what I mean? Yeah. But other than that, like I'm nonplussed in a 10-team league, besides for, like you said, the wideouts on the bench, the rookies. And I like Dante Thornton too.
Yeah, I do like Dante Thornton. The big thing about this team is I looked at a lot of these teams that I would put in the upper echelon of this league, and they have so much depth on their bench that I would trade them for another elite player, right? And in 10-team leagues, I'm willing to sacrifice some depth for elite stars.
Right.
But in this situation, we have a lineup to fill out, and that's really all we have right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. We ready to move on to the next team?
Yep. Yeah. Run it.
All right. How about Dilly, a big dill? Ryan, you want
I called Dilly.
Yeah.
From Delhi. Look, first off, 0-14, phenomenal season last year. That's never seen that before. Don't know how you pull that off, but let's look at the roster. Starting off
year in, year out,
you got Michael Penix. You say what?
I said he's terrible every year.
No, this is my
True.
guy. Bro. No, this is my guy, bro. This is the whiskey drinker. This is my dude, bro.
But anyway, now I got Michael Penix at the quarterback position. RB1, RB2. You got Brian Robinson, Justice Hill. Oof. Wide receiver 1, RB2, Michael Pittman and Jacoby Myers fill in there. Got a solid tight end, Sam Laporta. The 2 flex pieces are Dallas Goedert, Joshua Palmer, and Egbuka, which I like Egbuka in the flex spot there. And then the bench, you got Tua, Daniel Jones, Miles Sanders, Jaleel McLaughlin, Tank Dell, Xavier, and from there. And then has 2 26 firsts and and held with 27 first. This team's a dumpster fire. I don't know.
This is pit of misery.
I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what went wrong, where the value is, if they've just kind of like fumbled in rookie drafts or what's going on. But if you got Goddard, Palmer, and your flex, that's rough. I think in most rosters, those guys aren't even starting.
Yeah, especially not a 10-team league.
Yeah, no.
Yo, question off the subject of relevancy. Is Chisholm the next Wes Welker in New England, bro? Because I'm telling you, he's crispy. I swear to God.
He's
That
the
bitch.
perfect Patriots wide receiver.
He does have Chisholm on the bench. I keep missing
Bro,
that.
did he play QB?
He broke all of Cooper Kupp's records. It's gonna be a legend.
I'm saying, did
Really?
he play
I
QB
didn't know
like
what I was doing
Roman did?
early on. Okay.
Are we still early on? Because like
Hey.
Yo, Dylan, I'm telling you straight up, man. You're my guy. If you want me as your co-manager, bro, we drink whiskey. I'm fucking for it.
See, he's just like trying to sell himself to the league.
Right.
I'm here.
it's already 2
Here,
teams
bro.
he's offered himself to.
I've been
I will
offered.
say you do have like a small chance to fix this, right? I mean, you got all your picks. You got
Get the
hit on
picks.
those.
Yeah, 2 26 first.
Yeah. Got you 27. I think 27 is a really good class.
Yeah, just go add Jeremiah Smith now to your roster, big dog.
Yeah. You better hold that 27 first. I'll
Yeah,
say
add
that
that.
much.
Add that motherfucker to your roster because he's a beast.
I mean, Egbuka, Laporta.
I love.
Maybe too
I
much
personally
more.
love.
Yeah.
This is if we find a worse team than this, I'm gonna be surprised.
That's not going on.
That's how
too
you
much.
really.
I think he might have got victimized going from redraft into dynasty.
So you know how you got Hoodie Mello, you got Mask LeBron, and you got all these like different facades, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Penix wears a do-rag during every NFL game, can he throw for 5,000 yards? Straight up. That's my guy, man. I want a lefty QB to succeed, bro. There's not many lefties in the world. Fucking hell yeah, go lefties.
That was a good deal for him though. He got Penix for a second and 2/3. Love that.
I like
for you.
Penix. I like Penix.
No, Penix is.
I don't know if I want him to be my starting quarterback in a 10-team league though.
Nah.
Bro,
this
Tua-
is a 10-team league, right?
Bro,
Yeah.
Tua has
It's a
dreads.
10-team league, and he's rostering Rondale Moore.
Hard.
Come on, man.
Penix is going to be. Yeah, I like Penix a lot.
Bro, Tua's got dreads now too, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
I love Penix too.
How do we even start with this team? Like, where do we even go to
Grind film.
fix it?
To be
Nothing even
honest,
sell.
Jackson Dart.
the only sellable pieces right now, if you're gonna sell
Laporta.
anybody, is Laporta and Egbuka. And then you flip a productive receiver, one of the most underrated receivers in the game, being Jacoby Myers. You flip that for what you can. Pittman coming off the back injury isn't going to get much. Goddard, he's not even wanted by his own team.
Dart.
You just got to hold your draft capital, bro. This is a long grind right here. This one's going to be a long grind.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
He does have Gadsden, Dart, and Milrow on his taxi. Those are 3 guys.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
pretty-
and
I like the taxi squad. It's taxi
Yeah,
squad's
Ferguson.
best part of this team.
Doesn't he have
Yeah.
Ferguson too, bro? I like
Yeah,
that.
he does.
I mean,
Yeah.
taxi squad's in a good spot. And honestly, before you tell him to go trade Egbuka and Laporta.
I didn't say that.
like you
I
have to
said
start
trade.
somewhere.
I said trade Jacoby Myers for what you can get.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say
Okay.
trade Igbuka, you stupid
Okay.
bitch.
I sounded like you said the only two players that had value was Laporta and Igbuka. So I'm just
I said
backtracking
if you're
on that.
going to, they
Okay.
have value. Yes, relax.
We're not selling the good start we got going.
I know the one good player you got.
Well, I just don't understand when the team needs this much help, and you still drafted 2 quarterbacks in the rookie draft.
In a single quarterback league. I don't understand it.
In a
That
one
ain't helping
quarterback
anyway.
league, you picked up Milroe and Dart when you still have Tua, sorta, Penix and Daniel Jones, sorta. You've
So
got
you
like
could argue
1
he
and
doesn't need
3
that second
quarters
quarterback.
quarterbacks
Well,
going into the draft.
Let me go back to this comment. It's still early.
Still early.
Still early. So a lot of learning to do. Yardsperfantasy.com.
Hold on. Where did Jalen Milroe go? He went 4th round. Where did Dart go? He went 5th round.
Not mad at
Yeah,
that.
I don't mind drafting Milroe over Dart in a 1 quarterback league. Just in a single quarterback league, I want the quarterbacks with the highest upside.
You're looking at the upside here, like when you're talking about Jalen Milroe. I do like Pat Bryant. I do like Jarquez Hunter.
He says, you guys, I need a quarterback, but now I have too many.
I mean, look, I'm just saying. I mean, outside of Penix, it's a madhouse. I'm not mad at you taking shots. They could be mad at you, but I'm not.
Bro,
Yeah, but
to be
when
fair,
the rest of your
last time
roster
we saw
sucks.
the last time we saw this team, Penix wasn't starting yet.
bro, Tua's got dreads now, bro. Let it go. He's so good.
He's 1 concussion away from having mush for brains.
So is Troy Aikman, but he's still walking.
Are you, Dylan? Are you from one of the Carolinas? Because you've got all but the one Carolina receiver you really want, which would be Ted McMillan.
Yeah.
And you've got Coker, Thielen. Why don't you go pick up Hunter Renfrow while you're at it?
Yeah, we're close.
Tennessee. Okay. Dread protect the head better. God. What a hell of a study that was.
All right, let's go to the team in the league, the dominant team. They didn't win last year, but they won multiple times. We were kind of drooling over this roster.
Bro,
Pre-show.
my favorite nickname in the league. Yeah, this shit is hilarious. Look at Puka's nickname. It's Pukachu. Yo, that's fucking hilarious.
Yo, Dylan is funny.
Awesome.
Dylan's turning on us.
Am I the old guy? I guess I'm
I
the
don't
old
know.
guy.
I don't know. I got gray hair, so it might be me.
Jesus. Yeah, leave my man's alone, dog.
All right. Fleming, them. We are quarterbacked by Lamar Jackson. We got Christian McCaffrey. One last ride for Christian McCaffrey. Jahmyr Gibbs. Pukachu. Malik Neighbors. Trey McBride, Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams, Terry McLaurin. This lineup is loaded. And we got
crew.
We got basically Brady
Yes.
on the bench, along with Dak Prescott, Jalen Wright, RJ Harvey, James Conner on our bench, Matthew Golden,
Jesus,
Stephon Diggs, Ted McMillan on the bench, Travis Hunter, Ricky Pearsall, Hawkinson,
Travis Hunter, man,
and then we got the taxi squad: Jarquez Hunter, Damian Martinez, Cam Ward, Demario Douglas.
Oh,
and
this is a league where everybody's got 3 defenses, huh?
We got 4 second-round picks next year.
3
firsts in 2027. This team is not only set up to dominate in the short term, but we are going to dominate in the long term. Evan is taking credit for the Pikachu nickname, except I believe he bailed on this team and he took his own team.
Fire, bro.
Yeah, this team's a buzzsaw. It's a buzzsaw.
I mean, we've only seen a few teams so far, but I have a hard time believing we're going to find a better team than this one.
No.
Just top to bottom loaded.
Yeah. It's a problem when you have Ted and Trav both riding on your bench.
I mean, we have a perfect combination of like.
When you got guys on your bench that you're like, man, I wish I could put him into my starting lineup.
Right.
But there's no place to put him. That's pretty good. Pretty fucking awesome problem.
I love my boy Dilly, but if you take any player off of this guy's bench and put him on his, that's the best player on his team. So
yeah.
So true. So true.
Bro, honestly, the dude that owns Jamar Chase and JJ, when I talked about trading to rebuild, and you have to split up these receiving core, this is the guy you need to talk to, bro. Straight up. This is it. This is him. This team.
How are we feeling about Christian McCaffrey this year? Is he going to return to 2022? Are we done? Are we like, what are we doing?
One last ride, baby.
Terrified.
Achilles scares me.
So I'm okay holding him in a dynasty league. I'm not going to trade him in a dynasty league, but in like a redraft league, I'm not touching him in the first round.
You can't hold
him. No. He's like an early third, probably.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But he's being drafted like late first, early second.
But like you look at these guys, you look at this dude's running backs. You have the buzzsaw itself and Jahmyr Gibbs. You have Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams, McCaffrey, James Conner, RJ Harvey. There's so much running back depth here.
It's not fair.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. How you guys let this happen?
It just doesn't matter at all. This, bro, fuck it. Start McCaffrey, fuck it. Start nobody, fuck it. I don't give a fuck.
He's got your boy Jarquez on the taxi squad too.
He does.
Yeah, this guy could probably start his bench and still make playoffs.
On top of the fact that he has Cam Ward just sit on his taxi squad, that's so fucking disrespectful.
That's just disrespectful, man.
Yeah. It is,
hey,
bro.
Spread the wealth, man. Come on, dude.
Bro, can you at least put Jalen Royals on the taxi squad and bring Cam up to the fucking starting bench?
I'd like to say I joined the league this summer. Oh, okay. Matthew, new guy.
He should change his team name to the Godfather and just leave it there. Let everybody be intimidated.
Yeah, bro. Put a picture of Al Pacino on your fucking as your picture. You're set.
All right. Well, normally we have like
is this Wiggins?
I don't know who this is.
No, they said they know ball, so it's not his team.
No. Wiggins is the laughing hit lizard.
Okay.
No, we're not to him yet.
Okay. But yeah, no, normally we have a segment in these where we give advice to the team. You don't get nothing from us.
Just keep going. You should give us advice.
You get nothing from us. Next,
give us advice.
Look at that screen name.
Butt leak.
God. Butt leak.
Bro, you have 3 2027 first. I don't know how.
I mean, yeah, you beat him, but like, here's the thing with Dynasty and what's getting with this team is like, as these players develop, these guys a ton of young guys. It's rough. Fleming's is them. I was they.
All right, I don't think we need to spend too much time on this roster here.
We're good.
They know what they're doing.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
No.
My man has 3 2027 first, right?
Yeah.
And he has all picks in 2026. With that roster,
Train's going to keep on rolling.
Fucking dumb.
Yeah. Keep on rolling.
Yo, Dylan, play money ball, baby.
I was broke away to take my own team and
Dylan,
you should just put his address in the chat and everybody can send their league dues there.
Dylan, I'm trying to tell you, bro. You're the next Brad Pitt, baby. Play money ball.
I will say this team did not
fellas, I gotta bail out, but I wanted to stop by and see you guys. I like this league, so I didn't want to miss it. Hopefully, we'll see you guys halfway through the season again.
Yeah, we gotta follow up for this team for sure.
Awesome. All right, take it easy, fellas.
See you,
Thanks, Sam.
Easy, Sam.
All right, let's go to Tank Top Mike.
Tank Top Mike.
I like that guy too. Pretty fucking hilarious.
Oh, well, you're up on the team. This is all you, big dog.
That's all he
All right.
is.
All right, so I'm looking at this. We have Pat Mahomes. We got Bucky Irving, my running back one last year. Phenomenal pick. Devon A-Chain, CD, Nico. There's Nico.
Hey, he
Motherfucker.
stole him.
There's Nico.
Evan Ingram,
That's the
Love that.
Quinshawn Judkins, Zay, Devontae. And then we get into this bench. We got Darnold, Tank Bigsby, who's probably the best pure rusher in the Jacksonville backfield. Outside of that, some running back stashes and dart throws. Rashid Shaheed, Trey Tucker, George Pickens. Good pick, my boy. Jerry Jeudy.
The JJ tier.
The JJ tier. Parker Washington, Penn State legend, by the way. And let's look at the bat. Troy Franklin. Love that guy. Kyle Monagai. Actually, no picks in 26 or 27. Okay. So I'm breaking down this team. Holy shit, hold on. I'm breaking down this team. So the biggest issue I have with this team, again, this team I do believe can compete on a realistic level. I think this team is a very good team, very set up. Love the running backs. You got a three-headed monster in Judkins, Bucky, and A-Chan. A-Chan is one of my favorite running backs. With Tua, he averaged over 22 fantasy points a game. It's no secret how elite Devon A-Chan is when he's on the field, especially when everybody in Miami's offense is on the field. Bucky, we know what Bucky did. I don't have to talk about Bucky. Rashad White, he has a putting the ball on the carpet problem as well. And then you have CD and Nico, right? Outside of Chase and Jefferson, this is probably the best 1-2 receiver combo I've seen in the league so far. It might be the second best we'll see to date. This is a good roster. The only problem being is no depth on the bench in a realistic standpoint outside of some receivers, and then no draft capital except for 2028, which can be a hindrance, which means you're going to have to make trades to stay relevant.
Yeah. This team's pretty I like this team. It's got a good mix of young, but also like having some pieces that are a little bit older to get you through. I'm big on Evan Ingram this year. He's a tight end that's seen 2 100-plus target seasons at the position, and he's done it with Bo Nix, who has a short yard per throw. Or as it is, I think those two are going to kind of make things click. Outside of Cortland Sutton, they don't have a lot going there. I'm sure he was just a guy that was riding your bench, and now he's plummeted to the top of or came up to the top of your roster. We're pretty set here. I like the running backs.
Yep.
Stole Nico. Draft picks are non-existent, though. I will say this roster that you're looking at now is what they have. They don't have any significant picks until 28. So keep that in mind looking at this. But, I mean, I like the team for what it is.
Yeah, I do too. It's just, well, like you said, it's a little concerning with the long-term outlook, considering that they're probably not going to be able to compete for the championship this year based off what we just saw with the last team.
Sure.
But I mean, just get to the playoffs and anything can happen. But yeah, I mean, the starting core of Irving, Achane, Lamb, Collins, that's really, really strong. Mahomes, and you get your other, your flex guys, Flowers,
Smith.
I mean, and we even got George Pickens on the bench. I think George Pickens has a chance to have a career year with the Cowboys, even as the wide receiver 2 there. That's because it's going to be so much more pass volume and just quality passing in that offense. This guy could be the wide receiver 2 in that offense and score double-digit touchdowns with ease. Yeah, I mean, it's a solid roster. I'm not terrified of the draft pick situation. I don't love it, but I'm not terrified. I think we can manage. I'm not a big Zay. I love Zay Flowers. I'm not a big Zay Flowers and dynasty guy. I think he's overrated just based on he's not overrated. Just is being the number 1 wide receiver in the Ravens offense compared to the output that he's giving you from fantasy production wise. I think you could trade him for a similar production with more on top of it. That's something I would explore, but that's really the only significant move I would advise for this team right now.
While, yes, I personally hate Zay Flowers in my personal opinion, there's a lot of worse options at the position, right?
Oh,
well, so Evan, I just want to say this. This guy has so much running back depth that you can plug and play, right? You got Terry McLaurin as a flex player. You also have Ted McMillan and Travis Hunter sitting on the bench. While, yes, very unproven guys in the fantasy relevancy space, these guys are already being priced inside the top 20 dynasty wide receivers. As an overall roster, when you're looking at the depth, he has so many options to plug and play that I believe he's going to be able to survive any injury.
Right, and I think on top of that, like, yeah, the depth might not be there for their position, but I think you put a lot of value into the 2 rookies you draft. On top of that, we're talking about a 10-man team here, where most of the time you kind of want most of your power in the top there in starting roster. So I think what he has on his starting roster, on top of the depth he does have, he'll be fine.
Yeah, plus, we want to be top heavy. Top heavy.
Yeah, right. Top heavy is kind of the goal for a 10-man dynasty.
Plus, you buy into these rookies before they become stars.
Yeah.
And I look at Ted McMillan at the 106, and I feel like that's an absolute steal, especially in a 1 QB league.
Oh, yeah.
Ted McMillan.
Oh, yeah.
I have Ted McMillan as an absolute star.
Absolutely.
Coming into the NFL.
I mean, he could be top 15 wide receiver in year 1. Easy.
Yeah.
He's just going to be just dominant in volume in an offense. Right. And we saw Bryce Young kind of break out in the second half last year. If he can pick up where he left off there with an actual, like, high-end wide receiver 1, I think it's going to be the Ted McMillan and Jalen Coker show.
Also, Mike, the one thing I want to say, well, yes, I'm not a fan of Zay Flowers. I look at your second depth piece, and I look at Devontae Smith, right? My eyes instantly go to Devontae Smith, who played 13 games last year, but still averaged over 15 fantasy points per game. One of the most underrated fantasy wide receivers we have in today's game. I think one of the safest floor receivers. While, yes, in this offense, it's typically – sanctioned around Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts in the rushing game, and that overtakes some of the receivers, shine, quote unquote. But Devontae Smith, you put him on 25 NFL rosters other than the Philadelphia Eagles, and this dude's a bona fide top 5 player at the position. That's just how good he is.
Yeah, the passing volume in that offense is low, which normally I just saved with Zay Flowers. It's a little bit of a concern, but that offense is so consolidated that it really doesn't matter. It's A.J. Brown, it's Saquon Barkley, and it's Devontae Smith, and nobody else matters.
Yeah.
So the volume is still there for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pickens too. I talked about Pickens. I've always believed that Pickens is a wide receiver 1, absolute bona fide star. Now you get to see him play in an offense where Dak has thrown the ball over 600 times 5 times in his NFL career. Has never thrown the ball in a healthy season less than 530. I absolutely love George Pickens.
Yeah.
George Pickens he's walking into his best volume he'll ever see.
Absolutely. We've always liked George Pickens. It's just been the quarterback and the offense that's been the concern that's held him back. I don't think – he's no CeeDee Lamb, but he doesn't have to be because he's got CeeDee Lamb in the offense. And I think
I remember when Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb both finished as wide receiver 1s in the same offense.
Yeah.
That happens.
I could easily see George Pickens 12 touchdowns in his sleep in that offense.
Yep.
Hey, real quick, just from my boy Dylan here, we're dicking on you, but listen, my @ sign is under my name here. If you ever need any advice, please reach out. I'm an open line. Like,
hey, I'm here to be your co-manager, baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're here for you, man. Like, we dick on you, but like at the end of the day, we would all love to like help you along in the dynasty world.
Yeah.
But moving on, we ready to move on to the next team? Or we need to.
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay,
we're on. It's
Goofy Jazz. So this guy's one of those snakes that
I can't wait to get to this
team on the bench.
I can't wait to see who's on the bench.
Yeah. So anyway, on the bench, we got spearheading the quarterback position, Jalen Hurts. Got your running back trio, got a lot of running backs here. Alvin Kamara, Chase Brown, Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, Travion Henderson. A few of those guys a little bit older, but still reliable pieces for your roster. Receivers, we got DK Metcalf, aging DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill, Madunze, and then your big young guy in Ladd McConkey. Hiding on the bench, also Brock Bowers, Zach Ertz, who I think is sneaky value. And then looking for what he has in the starting roster, if there's anything worth mentioning. Not really what he wants.
Let Russ cook, baby. Let Russ cook.
I would love to see what this looks like actually started so I can visualize it better. But I think looking at the bench, I mean, kind of an older team, but definitely got some pieces to go up in the playoffs.
Yeah, that guy below Brock Bowers is gonna be a star.
Oh, Tim Tebow? Oh, right. Hey, they told me that he's a good luck charm. He's won 2 championships in this league, so
That's right.
What is that?
And then I look at the IR spot. I look at the IR spot, and we talk about Jonathan Brooks, who I believe was going to be a bona fide, solid running back in the NFL. And then that just hurts to see him on the IR spot. 2 ACL tears already. That really does blow.
Yeah.
Overall, though, you guys, if you want to do the Donald Trump money dance for my boy Brock Bowers, he deserves it. He's a bona fide dog. Bona fide dog. I've never, and Ryan and I, it's hard to not get excited about camp hype and coverage. But
Right.
What I saw Brock Bowers do at 18 years old at the University of Georgia, and then go into the camp in Vegas, I was going to say Oakland, Vegas, excuse me, and fucking moss DBs. Bro, he's the baddest white dude to ever step on an NFL field at the skill position. He's the baddest white dude to ever do it. He's a fucking monster.
You guys were on him from day one.
Yeah.
You had him,
100%.
had him nailed.
Pull the clips up. Pull the fucking shorts up.
Find him.
Yeah.
No, overall,
I didn't think he could do it in that offense. I really didn't. He's just so good.
Listen,
he overcame
always preach
Aiden O'Connell.
talent over
over
landing
sit-
spot.
talent over situation.
Talent over landing spot. Always.
Well, I mean,
That's
I
why-
think his situation actually played in his favor, other than the quarterback play. He had no receivers. I mean, it's Jacoby Myers and nobody.
Yeah.
Trey Tucker, baby.
Now he's got Jack Batch,
I'm curious,
Ashton Genty.
Yeah, I'm curious how it's going to work out. So we're talking about Genty, who was a
True.
90 overall PFF rushing and receiving grade his sophomore year. We know just how elite he is as a receiver out of the backfield, right? But then you bring Brock Bowers, who is the one alpha, easy, and then you bring in. But Jacoby Myers, to me and you talked about it, is one of the most underrated receivers in the fantasy game. So Brock Bowers drew over 135 targets last year. Does that number drop?
It's,
I
it's
think he's
gotta
gonna
drop
go
a
right
little bit,
back.
right?
Does it?
I
I mean, how involved is Genty in the passing game? That's my only question.
That's true.
But I
I
do
mean,
he's
believe,
gonna
at
be-
the same time,
It's just going to be a better all-around offense, though.
right.
I do believe the quality of targets is going to be significantly better. Yes.
That's fair to assume.
Absolutely,
I also
100%.
don't think they'll probably be behind in games, but not as bad as they were last year. I mean, they were behind a lot. On top of that, I think last year they didn't have a running game at all. I think with GT plugged in, it's phenomenal. So I think you do see a little bit of a setback from Brock Bowers, but that doesn't take away from who he is as a player.
Bro, they started Sincere McCormick. Like, what?
Yeah,
What?
I mean, it was rough. That's what I'm saying. But now they have GT and they can actually exist as a running team.
But yeah, this guy right here, putting your whole starting roster at the bottom on the bench is kind of fucked.
Yeah, it's a dickhead. I hate when guys do that. It's such a dickhead move.
But again, all draft capital is intact, boys. That is another thing. And multiple 26 first.
Are we ready for the Roma Dunze breakout?
If it's going to happen, it's this year. That's all.
Buddy.
It's got to happen.
No, it's not that it's gotta happen, right?
It's got.
We're talking about a top 10 drafted wide receiver with an elite analytical and athletic profile. We're talking about Ben Johnson, one of the best offensive minds in the NFL, We're talking about the greatest upgrade at the O-line offseason I've ever seen.
Yes.
Talking about DJ Moore.
True.
The only thing I hate
It's quarterback.
is the slot receiver in a Ben Johnson offense typically thrives, right?
The Ben Johnson offense has been the slot receiver has been Amon-Ra St. Brown though. Is it
Right.
really is it the slot receiver or is it Amon-Ra?
I mean, you could chalk it to both, but we know that DJ Moore has multiple wide receiver one seasons in the NFL. DJ Moore is a very valuable receiver, however you want to chalk it. I'm not saying he's Amon-Ra St. Brown, but is it going to be Luther Burden,
Luther Burden's going to be the slot, yeah.
who you use second round draft capital on? Where does Colson Loveland fit in? Where do all these skill guys fit in?
Yeah,
Can I be mad at Rome Odunze if he doesn't technically break out? I don't know. I don't know.
But I think Rome Odunze is he and DJ Moore. They have their role. Their role is in stone. The rest of the guys are who we're questioning.
Right.
For me, at least.
Right. I agree. But like, dude, you look at Colson Loveland, who's had the highest yards per route run outside of Harold Fanan Jr. in this class. You go back, he has a higher yards per route run than Kyle Pitts. And Kyle Pitts is one of the most hyped up tight ends we've seen since Vernon Davis. And I mean, that's tough to say. How Colson Loveland is elite in his own outright. We've seen Luther Burden, who's led the NCAA in yak for his freshman and sophomore year. There's so many fucking skilled players in this offense, dude. Who's got to succeed? It's Caleb, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be good for the running backs, though. I mean, there's going to be touching opportunities like crazy in that offense. There should be the offensive line improvement, like you mentioned. Just the overall scoring potential of the offense should result in hopefully some Roschon Johnson touchdowns.
DeAndre Swift, baby.
Honestly, I'm being honest with you. I do think Odunze is a great guy, great player, but that room has just become so oversaturated with talent that I'm kind of just avoiding everything. Plus, I'm already not the biggest Caleb Williams guy. I think that's on document. I had a TikTok blow up about it.
And unfortunately, he's not.
You're happy about that, but
I remember that one. But unfortunately, Rome Odunze.
TikTok, bro. That was a rough one for you, buddy.
I got some heat on there. I was supposed to stay alive, though.
That one got like 50,000 views.
No, it was bad. It was bad.
Hey, sometimes you're gonna have some bad takes to get. I mean, we all have them.
I still don't know if it's a bad take. I mean, shit. You put
that's right. Actually,
the offense they have now, I think we're drafting. I think we're drafting Justin Fields higher.
I think
you haven't been proven wrong yet. That's for sure.
I think it's criminally understated that Caleb Williams was not as bad as what people portrayed him to be last year. I mean, he's talking about 20 interceptions or 20 touchdowns.
29th in QBR.
He was the most pressured quarterback in the NFL. The most sacked was Stroud.
Some of it's just doing.
So get the ball out.
Yeah, right. Some of it's on
him. That was part of his problems. Get the ball out.
Yeah, some of it's on him.
So what?
What do you mean? He had Keenan Allen, great receiver.
Right,
DJ Moore was out there.
Right.
I mean,
but when your offensive line is made of Swiss fucking cheese, right? You're talking about, bro, your grandmother could get past the left tackle of the Chicago Bears. Your grandmother. Your fucking grandma. Let's be real.
I'm still saying on business that it was partly Caleb Williams' problem. There was times where you feel like guys into trouble on top of that.
Listen.
Didn't get the ball out.
Listen. Jaden, awesome. Jaden is the QB1. Bo Nix played better than Caleb in year one. But to say that he was criminally bad with a 20-4 touchdown interception ratio is not fair.
Even Dylan is turning on you with these takes.
Yeah, Dylan's turning on you.
I didn't say we had to trade for Caleb. I didn't say I was going to paint my fingernails. Jesus Christ.
So my only issue with Rome Odunze, and Ryan, you started to hint at it, he's kind of the low-hanging fruit. Everybody thinks he's about to break out, which means you can't even trade for him at a value. You can't even get him at a value.
I can't trade him at all in Ryan's league. I can't trade him. I want to trade him. I'm trying to trade him. Legit trying to trade him.
All right. We good with this goofy jazz?
Oh, yeah. Also, too.
Oh, do we playoffs
Lad
inside
McConkey.
outside?
Bro, Lad McConkey is wearing bucket hats at training camp now. Stud.
Oh yeah, wide receiver one. Easily.
Stud.
Oops.
You know he fits like the typical New England receiver, though, right, Alex?
Yes, and they traded back from that pick to draft. Jalen Polk. Are you freaking kidding me?
Jalen Polk. That is a stud.
Lad is a stud, bro. He's got the school.
I just hope they didn't fuck it up again this year by taking Kyle Williams over Jalen Noel, who is this year.
I like Kyle Williams.
No, I do too. Yeah, I think I'll be fine. All right,
let's inside outside playoffs for that guy.
What is that?
Inside outside for that last team we talked about for playoffs.
We're on Wiggins, baby.
I think we are gonna. I think he's gonna make it. I like some of these guys. Chase Brown.
We said it about most other teams. Might as well.
Matt McConkey. Is McConkey on that roster now?
Yeah. McConkey's on the roster.
Yeah. I think he'll squeeze in.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, moving on. Laughing hit. Oh man, not saying that. Oh, okay. It didn't go as far as I thought it did. I thought it was a Hitler lizard. Hitler Zard.
Is it my turn? I don't know whose turn it is.
Yeah, you're up.
All right. So the laughing hit lizard. We're quarterbacked by Kyler Murray. We got Javonte Williams, Tyrone Tracy, who we already talked about earlier. There's Luther Burden, who we just talked about as well. Chris Godwin, David Njoku, Jaden Reed. I'm getting concerned here. Josh Downs, Jaden Higgins. We get to the quarterbacks on the bench. It's Anthony Richardson and Aaron Rodgers plus Geno Smith. And we got my guy Roshan. Roshan, one more year. I think this is going to be the year for Roshan Johnson. Bashal Tootin could have a nice year if he can ascend that depth chart over Travis Etienne. I like Brashard Smith as a deep sleeper guy. We got Brandon Ayuk, who I believe he just recently traded for. We'll get into that. Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore. I think maybe we still have a chance here in Buffalo. Best quarterback situation he's ever had.
No.
Dontavian Wicks. We got a bunch of defenses. We'll scroll down to the taxi squad. Ricky White, I kind of like. It's a deep sleeper. Probably not in a 10-team league though. But fine for a taxi squad stash. Mason Taylor, I like. Colson Loveland was a fantastic value in this draft. He went like mid to late second round in this league. Even though it's a 10-team league, but it's a non-super flex league. Absolute steal in this draft for Colson Loveland. I like Elijah Arroyo as well. I mean, you're gonna hit on a tight end with one of these rookies. Between Mason Taylor, Loveland, Arroyo, one of these guys are going to break out. Jalen Noel. We got 2 first-rounders in 2026 as well as 2027, so we're pretty set up pretty well for the long term. I think this team isn't quite ready to compete, but there's some pieces that I'm encouraged by.
Yeah.
He's
already said in the chat he's rebuilding, and I think honestly,
he just got this team, right? He just got this team. He said,
yeah.
So
starting to rebuild, just got the team.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think for what you have, having 4 firsts in the next 2 years is a solid start. Not too keen on the 26 firsts, but those 27s, I think that class is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Right. Like you said, I mean, I think you know this already as someone who just took this team, but there's some good holes in here. It's going to take some work, but I think this is recoverable. Actually, don't think Alex talked to him. I like Jaden Higgins.
I do too.
In Houston a lot. I think he's going to be able to be productive day one as long as he has the same tools transferred from college to the league. I think he got some pieces to start.
He's got Higgins and Noel. I like them both.
Yeah.
How about this trade? He made this trade June 12th, so a little over a week ago. He received Brandon Ayuk, Brashard Smith, and a 2026 first-round pick. He gave away Breece Hall, a 3rd in 2026 and a 4th in 2027.
It's a lot of pressure on Ayuk.
Yeah, he's still in his prime. He's coming off the injury, but he's still in his prime. I think I like it. I think it's a little risky, a little dangerous giving up Breece Hall, especially at a low point in his value. But if you're a rebuilding team, I'm probably the first thing I'm looking to do is trading away the stud running back.
Right.
I do think you could have gotten more, though. You could have gotten more if you'd just been a little bit patient and see if we can get some value back from Breece Hall.
Yeah, the trading, the values of these two players are they're so over the place. Like it's all over the place for these two guys, right? I remember when Breece Hall was the running back 3 in Dynasty, and Breece Hall was penciled in as the next like stud player.
I mean, there were times where people were having an RB1.
Right. And with Breece Hall, it's so unfortunate that we had the ACL tear his rookie season. I also had Breece Hall as my running back 1. Big Breece Hall guy.
Yeah, me too.
Unfortunately, the injury-riddled season, his freshman year in the league, was really tough for him to bounce back from. Then you bring in competition like Braylon Allen and other just pieces that are getting touches that he should be getting. You haven't seen the full breakout, right? You haven't even seen Breece Hall rush for 1,000 yards in the NFL. What's his value? I don't know. With all these new guys coming into the running back position, I believe he's closer to like running back 6, running back 7 in Dynasty, as opposed to what he was 2 years ago. But we're also talking about the same thing for Brandon Ayuk, right? Like we're talking about ACL tear. We're talking about a guy who looked abysmal before the ACL tear. What's his role long term? Will he bounce back and be the same elite route runner we saw before the injury? I don't know. There's question marks here. I do believe you sold Breece Hall short, though. I will be honest.
I don't hate it. Matthew's in the chat right now. Look, honestly, the way your team's looking, if you're going through a rebuild, Alex kind of touched on it a little bit, but by the time your team is relevant, Breece Hall is going to be washed up somewhere. He's already like a prospect that hasn't really – I mean, look, these two guys over there are huge on Breece Hall. I've always been a little bit further down on Breece. He's not the prospect I think we saw. We don't see a whole lot of, third-year, fourth-year breakouts or running backs. I mean, I think if we were going to see it, we would have seen it by now. I don't hate trading it. I think Ayuk, he probably could have got a better receiver. But you get the draft pick, and if Ayuk pans out next season, I think it looks great.
Yeah, I think part of the problem with Breece Hall is that NFL coaches don't love him as much as like the general fantasy football community loves him. And I think that's where the value is kind of misaligned here. But I just want to say Brandon Ayuk is probably the best wide receiver in the league. He's about to be an absolute star. So, yeah, if you want to trade for him, go trade for him.
Brandon Ayuk, definitely top 15 receiver this year. Lock it in now.
Absolutely.
Honestly, if you're looking to buy a wide receiver, I think you can get Brandon Ayuk at a great value right now.
On the pup list, I love that for y'all boys.
Yeah, 3 first might get him. I don't know.
It's hard to say Breece never broke out, right? We're talking about a guy who was on pace for 1,700 all-purpose yards his rookie year. We're talking about I still can't say that he never broke out in the league.
He broke out in small windows.
Right.
Yeah, but is that
this dude was on pace for 1,700 all-purpose yards.
But what did he actually get? It's like
he tore his ACL. What the fuck, man? Man,
he didn't do it. He didn't do it. On pace, he didn't get the 1,700 yards.
And then he finished running back 6 in year 2.
I mean, like you said, he hasn't rushed for 1,000 yards. The only running back in fantasy relevance has ever done
has Kamara,
and that's because of
neither
his
has
work.
Alvin Kamara, bro.
Yeah, but Alvin Kamara is not. Breece Hall is not Alvin.
You're
Kamara.
right. I'm just saying. You're talking about the 1,000-yard mark. Like you're talking about that. Like that's the breakout number, right? Kamara's never rushed for 1,000 yards.
But Kamara doesn't need to. He holds his fantasy value in receptions, and
bro, he had 70 receptions year 2 and almost 60 in year 3. He's just as relevant in the receiving game as he is in the rushing game.
But now you have Justin Fields, who doesn't check down his running backs.
Yeah, I'm gonna chalk him up as having broken out. 17 fantasy points per game, RB6 in 2023, playing a full 17-game season. He didn't reach 1,000 rushing yards, but he had about 600 receiving yards.
He broke out. Don't disrespect Breece.
I would say he broke out. Over 1,500 total yards, 9 touchdowns, 17 fantasy points per game, and a Zach Wilson offense.
Fair.
I'm gonna count that.
Yeah, don't be that guy, bro.
I am that guy.
And then can we get his fantasy points per game his rookie year?
He was 6 yards short of 1,000.
Can we get his fantasy points per game his rookie year, please? I'll do it. Good. You guys keep talking.
Hey, who's
His rookie year 2 years ago?
who? Brees Hall?
No, don't worry. I'm looking at it now.
Two years
16
ago?
point, 16.4, 17.1, 15.1 last year
16.4
as a rookie. 7 games.
As a rookie.
7 games.
Just want to tell you that was higher than Bijan.
Seven
Just want
games.
to tell you that was higher than Bijan Robinson.
7
6
games.
yards per carry.
Dick. And I like Bijan. Don't be that guy. He didn't break out. You stop it. Stop it.
He's not
All right,
winning
the-
championships. Sue me
Yeah.
for that.
Well-
Are you comfortable with Brees Hall being your RB1?
Yes. Yes.
I'm not.
Yes. Because I don't build my teams around running backs. I start with the
That's
wide
fair.
receivers and the tight ends.
Well, do you think he's going to benefit, or do you think? I think he could benefit from Justin Fields being his quarterback.
Sure. He's going to have one of his best rushing outputs he's had. He's going to have 1,000 yards.
Yeah, I mean they're going to have to pay attention to Justin Fields running the ball. Is it going to be Justin Fields running the ball? Or is it going to be Brees Hall running the ball? But then you also have how much is Braylon Allen going to play? Isaiah Davis is going to play? How much
How many
passes
targets
is he going to
Garrett
catch
Wilson gonna get?
from? Yeah, well, how many
Question.
targets is Brees Hall going to get in a Justin Fields offense?
We're going to get into one of these
I don't know
teams
what to
here.
do with him.
Less.
We're going to get into one of these teams here that has the Jets wide receiver. Get Garrett Wilson to the moon, baby.
All right,
Moon.
I think we got to move on.
Yeah. let's go.
Legend killer.
Legend killer.
Chalmers.
All right. So we have the winter soldier, nicknamed Cancun MVP. I like that a lot. Josh Jacobs, who we saw break out in this Green Bay offense. I know we've seen multiple running back one seasons from Jacobs, but this was his best fantasy season that I've seen from him. Pacheco, Mr. Gold Jacket, Mike Evans, Mr. Gold Jacket, Devontae Adams, Mark Andrews, Cortland Sutton, Shakir, Cooper Kupp.
You're not giving a gold jacket to Mark Andrews?
Nah.
Okay.
I don't say anything nice about any Ravens player.
Fair.
Khalil Shakir, Cooper Kupp, Baker Mayfield, Najee. Then we got some running backs: Raheem Mostert, Ty Algier, Sean Tucker, CEH, Darius Slayton, Gabe Davis, Darnell Mooney, very underrated wide receiver. By the way.
Very underrated.
Yeah.
Naylor, Westbrook Akine, Isaac Tesla, Juwan Jennings, who Ryan has pegged as a top 30 wide receiver this season. Cade Stover, Taysom, Higbee, Likely, also really big fan of him, by the way. The young kid on the taxi squad, we got J.J. McCarthy, who I believe is a QB breakout. Tez Johnson, Isaiah Bond, Shador Sanders, and Watkins.
To answer your question, Dylan, before we really dive into this team, big college guy. I watch all college football. I'm an ACC guy, but I watch it all, man.
I am a Big Ten guy. I am a diehard Penn State fan.
Go Hokies.
We are Penn State. Although SEC football, I watch every college football game I can.
Yeah.
SEC football is great football to watch. So we have the 2026 first and 2027 first still intact. All the picks in 2027, second, third, and fourth. We just have the 2026 first round pick with relevance. We have multiple fourths and fifths in this with this. So with this team, we've seen Devontae Adams and we've seen Mike Evans. Yes, we all do have a podcast as well. Before I
Plug it. Where do they find it?
Plug it.
Ryan, you can plug it.
Oh, bet. You can find us over at the DFF. We do part-time work with Alex, but we've been taken away from him, sadly. So now all of our content is over the DFF Fantasy Network, YouTube, Twitter. Hit us up. But I miss yards per with all my heart. I just want you to know that, Alex.
I do too.
You know what? I'm going to refrain from comment, but yeah, you can find us at DFF.
So, and then Alex's podcast at Yards Per Fantasy on YouTube. Phenomenal work there too, boys. Just so you guys know, Alex is a fucking great content creator.
Yeah, Alex got us beat by a long shot. We're blessed to have Alex in our corner.
So with these receivers, as I get back to these receivers, we're talking about two stars to build around. If we're looking at this from a redraft standpoint, right, this roster is solid. When I go into the dynasty overall value breakdown of this roster, I typically build my teams because I play in only Superflex. I haven't played in a 1 QB league in quite some time. So in this league, I would want to build around the wide receiver position. I want to try to find the elite tight end and then add the running backs. So with this position here, these are guys that are probably going to die on your roster, right? Mike Evans, who we saw have one of his best seasons in quite some time. We're talking about, the fourth highest win rate against man and the second highest win rate against zone for Mike Evans. Mike Evans' dominator rating was top 5 in the league. He has not showed any slides of slowing down at all. I do know that Liam Cohen going over to Jacksonville does hurt. He's a very good offensive coordinator. Yeah. Mike Evans is one of those guys I'm willing to let die.
Sorry.
Got to let die on my roster. Devontae Adams is another guy I got to let die on my roster. There's no way I can trade them for any value that implicates anywhere near the fantasy relevancy that they have. Mark Andrews, the most touchdowns caught in Ravens history, right? Mark Andrews had a significant injury last year in the offseason, comes back, finishes as tight end 6. It's hard to argue that too. It's really hard to argue that too. With this roster, though, I just think long-term it's going to be very hard to turn this around, right? You're not going to be able to trade Cooper Kupp for much. Cortland Sutton, who I believe is a very underrated wide receiver. It's going to be hard to trade him too, going into his year 30 season. I believe this is a win now roster. Yeah, Matt, DFF, Dynasty Football Factory. I believe this is a very win now roster, although we do have all picks intact. This roster, I think, is in like a limbo type place, like a guy who could make the playoffs, maybe not win, or a guy who could finish mid-pack. Like it's just a really tough call on this roster.
Look, I'll go on the full opposite end of that and just look at this team as a face value. When you look at older rosters, I kind of look at them in the dynasty perspective of like, can you win now with this team? And I think it is a solid roster, but with some of these other teams in this league, I think this is one of the situations where you kind of want to tear it down the best you can before it's too late. Like you say, you can't get value, but you can probably get value from Mike Evans on these win now teams or Devontae Adams, even if you're getting like a second or a third. I mean, I think it's solid value. Cortland Sutton holds value. Josh Jacobs. I think you hold Josh Allen in this team, but I think like this is you kind of blow it up now because if you wait one more year, they're really, really not going to have any value. So
I think
know it's hard to give a roster up and start from the bottom, but I think this is one of the situations where if you haven't gotten in that championship, I think it's probably too late for this.
If you're going to blow it up in 2025, I'm probably waiting until at least August. Right before the start of the season or like a few weeks into the season when these veteran players are actually more valuable to these, championship contenders as some of the contending teams kind of start to move up the rankings and kind of separate themselves from the rest of the league. They're going to be looking to buy guys like Josh Jacobs, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Mark Andrews. That's where you're going to maximize those guys' value.
Right.
So in 2025, Ryan, you and I can both agree that this draft class is absolutely loaded at certain positions, right?
Sure.
In any way, shape, or form, what does the 2026 class offer you that you're like, man, I can't wait to get that guy as a value in the second round?
In the second, off the top of my head, second round, I mean, I can't really think of a whole lot of guys.
We're talking about Antonio Williams. We're talking about a possibility of Carnell Tate.
We're talking who? My boy, he had an injury, so you can't even hope for him at Oregon. I'm blanking on his name. Oh my God.
Evan Stewart,
thank you. You can't even bank on him anymore. I thought he was a solid sleeper, but he just suffered a major injury. So what does he look like now?
Well, you break this roster down, right? This is the biggest thing when it comes to dynasty rosters that are in limbo like this. This is a great redraft team, right, that we're talking about. But especially because you and I are preaching here that we don't like the next class.
So about the 27 class.
Okay, so You throw a
26 I've been
2026.
talking about this whole podcast. Screw the 26 class. Wait that extra year. Go get the loaded.
You're talking about a
talent.
2027 class, right? Okay. So
Yeah.
a guy is listening to our podcast right now. They're telling you how we feel. They're like, yeah, I'll give you a 3rd round pick for Mike Evans. You're not doing that. You're
No.
not.
But you can get more than that out of Mike Evans in season, like Alex was talking about.
What do you let him go for?
I mean, my whole point is like, is this team winning the championship?
I believe that this is a team that's on the verge of a playoff berth. That's it.
Right. But I'm saying, like, what if he wins one more year?
So with that being said, is there value enough for you to say, God damn, man, Mike Evans went out and put up another 17.5, 18 fantasy point per game season. I can't wait to trade that motherfucker. What are you trading for? These guys are literally telling you that it is hard to get picks in this league.
That's someone who's intentionally attempting to rebuild. Trading for picks in this league isn't easy. Oh, that sucks.
So what player? So what player? Okay, Alex, what player are you trading Mike Evans or Devontae Adams for?
A player?
Yeah, give me a player because picks are hard. Picks are hard to gauge in this league.
I mean, can you trade him for? If I'm a rebuild team, off the top of my head here, I guess. Am I looking at like a Jaden Higgins type? I don't even know if I can get that. Let me pull up my rankings here.
I see your point, but like
that's what I'm saying. This is such a situation of.
Can you get Ricky Pearsall for Mike Evans?
Probably.
You probably can, right?
Probably.
Maybe he breaks out this year.
Probably.
Do you think he'd get DJ Moore? But even then, he's not.
No, probably not DJ Moore.
George.
So you would rather delay it and just let this roster die?
At that point, I just don't. It always comes down to fantasy relevancy and like production as opposed to the trade. It's kind of like Derrick Henry, right? We talk about Derrick Henry. You're never going to get the value implication that you should deserve for Derrick Henry. You're just not.
Yeah.
Never are.
That's where I'm at.
It's so hard. I love this roster. Alex, you phased out, bro. Alex might have said. That's what I'm saying. It's so hard here because these guys are literally telling me it's so hard to get picks in this league. What do I do?
I think we'll ride it at least halfway through the season. If we're competitive, I think you could argue you could trade that 2026, a 2027 first round pick. It's hard to get picks, but you might be able to trade them away for a premium if it's hard to get them.
Yeah.
And actually go get one or two pieces that could actually push the team over the edge. Let's just go win it.
Yeah, honestly, he's got multiple picks in 2026.
Go the other
way.
I mean, that's something I would consider at this point. Because if I'm just going to sit here and be like the 5th place team, but I'm one or two pieces away from being, the 2nd, 3rd place team, maybe even win it. I think I'm gonna try that. If I can't tear it down, if I'm not going to be able to get anything for these guys that I want,
okay,
I can't get back. Why don't
Mike
I just
Evans,
go?
Mike Evans or Brandon Ayuk
In Dynasty?
You're talking about a 31-year-old Hall of Famer who is dominating the league at an all-time rate, has not showed you any chances of slowing down.
I want Brandon Ayuk.
Or the guy off the ACL tear.
Brandon Ayuk. If I'm not trying to win right now, if I'm looking to 1-2 years down the line, I want Brandon Ayuk.
If this guy traded draft capital and addressed the Isaiah Pacheco question mark or the Khalil Shakir part, he could possibly have a lucky week and actually have a chance to win this bitch. Fantasy.
Right. So that being said, Mike, who's in here? Evan, Matthew, Dylan, if you're still here, go get this man's 27 first. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. If
I didn't say you had to trade the 27 first.
That's
do it. You got 2 years to
recoup.
You got 2 years to recoup.
This guy's in 2027.
Yeah, I would do it.
I didn't say you had to trade the
27 first. Please.
I didn't say you had to trade it. I said the 26 first. He's got multiple of them.
I'm saying
trade
it.
He has one.
I thought he had two.
He has 26 first.
Oh, you're right. He does. My fault.
Yeah. Go get this man's 27 first, please. Because I guarantee you right now, it will be a top 3 pick when the time comes.
How's this guy find you guys on YouTube? Do you just search Dynasty
Football Factory. Yeah.
Yeah, that's there. I'm looking at YouTube now.
Yeah.
We're small. We don't even have 500 subscribers. So
Yeah,
that's
but
probably why you
you
can't
should be able to
find
find it by typing it in YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's the top one.
Yeah.
it.
493 subscribers.
What's
Do you have the link? You want to just drop the link in the chat?
I'm not signed into my YouTube.
All right, that's all right.
Ryan, you sign in and you do it. Yeah, it's YouTube, but we stream from Twitter as well. Matt, if you follow our Twitter right here.
The Twitter you can find is literally FF Chalmers, and then DFF is, I think it's DFF_fantasy.
Yeah. But yeah, this was a fun team to break down because this one actually made me scratch my head a little bit.
Yeah, it's like it's right on that fence there.
It is.
All right, let's go to all by myself.
Speaking of Derrick Henry,
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
it. Quarterback position, we got Bohemian Rhapsody, great name, Bo Nix, huge breakout year last year. Running backs at Bijan Robinson and the freak Derrick Henry. Wide receiver 1 and 2 is Drake London and AJ Brown. Tyler Warren picked up in the rookie draft. Marvin Harrison and DJ Moore in the flex. Breece Hall sitting there as well. Just got, according to them, a great value for him. And on the bench, you got Caleb Williams, Jared Goff, Justin Fields. Too many quarterbacks on this team. Kenneth Walker on the bench. That's a surprise. Tony Pollard, Caleb Johnson, and then receivers are kind of in the rough. Calvin Ridley's a pretty solid. Oh, Garrett Wilson on the bench. Jalen Waddle. Never mind. Okay, this guy's got a solid roster. And then the only downside of this team is there's no picks. Doesn't even have his 28 first. So, but yeah, like this is what I'm saying. We're like this team's kind of built out. Like this previous team we talked about is probably getting beat by this roster. I mean, you got Bijan and Derrick Henry, got 2 solid wide receivers, got people on the bench that have no business being there. And on top of that, if I'm this team, like there's some pieces here, you can probably trade 2 good guys for 1 great guy. This team, the commissioner, I like what we got going here.
Yeah, he just took this team over this year, I believe. That's a good roster.
Maybe took it from him, gave it to him in good hands.
Yeah. Did.
Yep.
Unless he made a bunch of deals.
True. I mean, he did get Breece Hall, so let's not.
He got Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drafted Marvin Harrison.
Drafted Marv. Traded for AJ Brown.
Most of this.
Well, he didn't trade for AJ Brown. This trade happened in 2023.
Yeah.
Drake London, he drafted in the rookie draft. Bijan,
homegrown team.
Bijan rookie draft.
14 trades. Whoa, we're missing something.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of his trades. I'm not finding anything of significance that he received.
Oh no! Look at the Derrick Henry trade. There it is, right there.
He also has a lot of rookies. I could see him trading for some picks this offseason.
Yeah, look at the Derrick Henry trade. There's your draft capital.
Whoa! Good Lord, what a trade! How did I miss this one on the trade thing you all sent us? Jesus, good Lord, have mercy. There's all the picks gone.
Whoa. You traded Garrett Wilson in that deal as well?
Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Derrick Henry.
So
three
first-round picks for Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, and Derrick Henry.
We said you can't trade for Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry has been traded in this league 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times.
He also traded for Calvin Ridley, who I think is low key sneaky.
Underrated.
Yes. I've been the anti Calvin Ridley guy for years. I'm on the train this year. He's a great value.
Yeah,
bro.
I like Calvin Ridley.
Alex, me and Ryan made a trade, right?
Yeah. Oh my fucking god! I was gonna kill him.
So we traded. I traded Calvin Ridley after his injury season for David Montgomery straight up. The next day, it breaks out that Calvin Ridley has been suspended from the league. He's like, bro, do you know Adam Schefter? What the fuck?
Bro got the inside scoop. Because what do you mean he was so desperate to get rid of him? I was like, yeah, screw it, David Montgomery. That works for me.
Yeah.
Next day, boom, suspended for a year. And then I traded him for
Just gambling, buddy.
working for real, man.
I'll be honest with you,
track on Calvin Ridley.
You remember how we talked about teams like in a 10-team league with too much depth can be a bad thing at times? I believe that this is that team, right?
Yeah.
Because you could probably go get one more elite piece and add it to a roster here, and not even blink an eye.
Yeah, take that depth and increase. Improve that starting lineup for sure.
Right. Two good for one great.
Right, and also too, 4 QBs at this point, it's a little tough to stomach, rostering 4 QBs in a 1 QB league.
It is a good problem to have, Bo, Caleb, and Jared Goff.
I love this team though.
But yeah, this is a playoff team.
It's a really good team.
This is a good team. Good team to take over. You bought some pieces that can help you out.
We're gonna get a bounce back year from Jalen Waddle.
Make a few more trades.
Don't ask me that because I am a Jalen Waddle. I lead the Jalen Waddle fan club.
Yes. Yeah, we're back. He's coming back. He's all the way back.
Oh no, guys, please don't.
Tua's got the dreads.
Hell yeah, baby. I lead the Jalen Waddle fan club. Ryan hates me for it.
I've always hated Jalen Waddle. I liked him his rookie year, but I always said, and then he had that big breakout year where he averaged like 21 yards per catch. And once that replicated, I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen again. As long as Tyreek Hill's on this roster, he's not going to be much of anything. And since then, I've been kind of right.
All right, one more question. Mr. Steelers fan here. Jalen Warren, Caleb Johnson, how's that backfield going to shake out?
That's a good question because I believe
Quarterback.
that Jalen Warren was the better running back for 2 years in the system. But the question always came down to me was, what could I do with Jalen Warren and what would it look like with over 200 carries for him? Was he just great in his role because he got the ability to come in and be phased into an explosive situation where he was pretty healthy, conveniently, and explosive in games, while Najee took the general wear and tear and grind? Or is Jalen Warren actually a guy that I believe could handle a 230 carry workload? That question has still yet to be answered for me. I'm not sure because in sparing moments, Jalen Warren is one of the most explosive running backs in the league. He's a really good running back in a change of pace role. If I'm drafting this year, I'm going to bet on Jalen Warren.
Okay.
I'm going to bet on Jalen, but I believe long term it's obviously Caleb, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's the quintessential Steelers running back. He was made to be a Steelers running back.
Yes.
And the press conference after the draft, Mike Tomlin used the phrase high volume carries multiple times when talking about Caleb Johnson.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be Caleb Johnson.
No, I believe it's going to be tough for me to implicate for Jalen Warren to have any success in the red zone, right? If Jalen Warren's going to score, it's probably going to be from 25 yards plus out. Also, short yardage situations, I believe that it's going to be Caleb.
Get those Aaron Rodgers check down passes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I believe in 2026 it's probably Caleb, but I believe in 2025 Jalen Warren has a chance to finish as an RB2.
All right. One more quick thing on this team. If you're trading for somebody, are you targeting anybody? We talking about packaging some of these guys from the bench. Who are we going to go target?
For me, I'm looking any of just outside that top wide receiver tier. Those are the guys I go for is wide receiver. They have the longest shelf life. So I'm looking for the tier where you could definitely have the pieces to go get a Puka Nacua or a Amon St. Brown if you're willing to trade some depth pieces.
I think we can go all the way up. Can we take
you can, but that comes with the price.
Can we take Marvin Harrison plus Garrett Wilson and turn that into Jamar Chase?
Right. I would do that too. Yeah.
I would do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we can get that done. Even if it's not that deal, add something else. I think we can get it done.
Honestly, the name that comes to me is like I would rather keep Drake, AJ. If I'm going to trade anybody from these three, from the trio of Drake, AJ, and Marvin Harrison, I'm willing to let AJ go right now.
Same.
That's fair. But are you going to get the max value for AJ, or are you going to get the max value for Marvin Harrison?
Marvin Harrison probably draws a prettier dynasty piece, like a dynasty price. But if you traded AJ Brown and Garrett Wilson, and you got Malik Neighbors and a little throwback, I'm trying to get Malik Neighbors everywhere I can.
If you can get that done,
Neighbors, sure,
absolutely.
Brian Thomas. Look, I think with the pieces you have, if you're willing to sell, I think you can get pretty much anybody. As far as value goes, I mean, I think right outside that top tier wide receiver zone is where I'm at.
Right.
I don't think you need another running back. I would go get a big time receiver.
No. Yeah. I'm happy to trade away some of these running backs. You're loaded from the lineup to the bench. You're loaded. Yeah. You've even got some of the top handcuff running backs in football.
Yeah.
I might even go trade and try to upgrade Tyler Warren to Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Or we could, absolutely. I mean, we don't need Brock Bowers, but I would upgrade the tight end position.
So like
McBride.
So speaking of that, what tight ends? Like, okay, so you have Kittle, you have Brock, you have Trey, all finished with 15 fantasy points per game or higher last year. The only 3 tight ends to do it, right? Outside of that, like Laporta, we had a terrible year too. Could we get a bounce back from Laporta, and or are you just going to ride with Tyler Warren?
Tight end prospects always stress me out. The only one that hasn't stressed me out in a long time is Brock Bowers.
Are you willing to trade one of these pieces for Kittle and add a win now piece to this roster? Because I think Kittle is the play here. I know long term,
you can also get him for cheaper. I don't think you have to move too much to go get Kittle.
Would you do a Jalen Waddle for Kittle swap?
100%. Not even hesitation.
Because I wouldn't give up Garrett Wilson for Kittle in a no tight end premium.
No.
I think Jalen Waddle's the answer.
I think they could get you Kittle. Today. Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, today.
Yeah, in this situation, I would flop Waddle.
Yeah, because this team's in. This team is all in. We got to go win now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and George Kittle's like the ultimate go win now type of guy.
Yeah,
he's gonna smash this year. There's nobody else in that offense. They traded Debo. They got Ayuk coming back from injury. Maybe Ricky Pearsall breaks out. Maybe he doesn't. Who knows?
Yeah. The thing is,
defense sucks. They're gonna be throwing it a ton.
The 2 players I would look to upgrade would be DJ Moore in this offense and Tyler Warren. And I'm a big Tyler Warren fan. I just don't know if that translates to fantasy success year one. Tight end position is the hardest position to determine a breakout for.
Yeah.
All right. Discount Belichick. Last team. All right. We got Jaden Daniels at quarterback. Saquon Barkley, David Montgomery. This is the defending champion, by the way. You can probably tell by the roster here. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brian Thomas Jr. We got Travis Kelce at tight end. We got T. Higgins, James Cook, who I believe they just traded for recently. Jordan Addison. We got Justin Herbert on the bench, along with Ray Davis, Travis Etienne.
Wow.
Swift. We got Jack Betch on this bench. Trey Harris as well. Deebo Samuel. Tucker Kraft, Kyle Pitts, and Taxi Squad is looking like Audric Estime, Jalen Polk, Gillen Sampson, Tyler Shuck, and Konata Mumfield. Plus, we got all our picks except for a 3rd rounder in 2026, but we're looking pretty good there as well.
Nothing in 27. 5th round pick in 27.
The rich get richer. He's got his championship, and I know James Cook is due for regression this season. Don't get me wrong, but I mean to get him for Pollard a 2nd and a 3rd.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, it's just still a good team. I don't know. I mean, can they run it back?
I think they can.
Yeah. I mean, for sure.
Bro, that Lamar Jackson team, it's really hard to beat.
Yeah, you're not beating that team.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be rough. If any team's got shots, probably this one though.
But I think the top 3 teams are that team, and then the last 2 teams we just talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we get the glaring hole here at tight end. What are we doing with Travis Kelce? Are we gonna try to make a deal to upgrade that position?
Might as well hold at this point.
Yeah, you got to hold.
We got Kyle Pitts. We got Tucker Kraft. That'll get us through, I think, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
At least for now.
I do like Tucker Kraft.
I like Tucker Kraft.
Bro, have you guys like looked at Travis Kelce's like score sheet and like going through the seasons, bro? It is insane.
Crazy.
Bro, shout out. Bro, shout out Travis Kelce, man. Straight
and
up.
He pulled Swifty. Let's go. Go Travis Kelce. I got so sick of that. So sick of that crap in the season. What direction is this team?
How are we feeling about the Bears backfield? DeAndre Swift, Roschon Johnson. I mean, to me, Ben Johnson was part of that Lions offensive staff that gave up on DeAndre Swift before he even got to the end of his rookie contract. That worries me a little bit.
I don't know how to look at it. But I will say every team I have Swift rostered in, I also have Roschon Johnson.
That's fair. Because I mean, we talked about earlier, someone from that backfield is going to do well.
It's got to be something.
Because that offense is going to it's got to be good. Unless Caleb is just an absolute bust.
I would love that.
Still possible.
I would love to see that.
Oh man, but no, DeAndre Swift I have as like a sleeper running back. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's never finished outside of the RB2s.
Yeah, I think the worst finish is the RB21.
Yeah, he gets a lot of hate too.
Insane.
Yeah,
you talked about Ben Johnson hating him, and I mean, we talked about those like nagging injuries that pop up.
I don't know if Ben himself hates him.
As like
he didn't do anything to replace him.
As like the most inopportune injuries that's ever popped up like in a career, DeAndre Swift has all of them, right? All of them. I remember he had a 32 carry game against the Steelers like 3 years ago, and then he missed 5 weeks after that. Like, why? It happens all the time with DeAndre Swift. It's just so rough to watch him because he was a guy who we also had pegged as a top 5 dynasty running back when he.
I was just gonna say that there was at one point he was up there.
Yeah.
But he's so undervalued. He is.
For the short term.
For the short term. Probably just this year.
Yeah. Right, but if you were going to invest any draft capital into the running back position, it was this class.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's got what, 2 years? He's got what, 2 years left on his contract?
Yeah, but it's also one of those things where they were definitely looking at Genti had he fallen.
Yeah, there was too much smoke to not be a little bit of fire there on a lot of these running backs. They were looking for sure. It just didn't happen.
I get it. That's fine.
All right. Who's winning this league this year?
Who's my boy with Lamar?
Yeah.
Blemming.
Blemming.
Was it Blemming? Yeah.
Blemming 9999.
Yeah. But I personally think that like the top 5 in this league are actually it's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. Those top
Belichick
3
still got a good squad. All by myself still got a good squad. Blemming obviously. There was another team that I was kind of impressed by. I kind of can't remember off the top of my Thunder Cunts doesn't have a bad roster.
Thunder Cunts.
But I think the top 5 and the bottom 5 in this league are very apparent, and that's got to give at some point.
All right. Any final thoughts? We'll see these guys in season.
I just want to tell you that this is how leagues stay together with how like close this group is, man. So I know you've had some change in like leadership of rosters and stuff like that, but you guys have made it fun. Obviously, you guys are good sports about it because if you're not winning, it is rough to pay money into something that you're not winning.
Right.
But you guys are having fun with it, and that's the best part of it.
Yeah.
Dylan, get some help, man.
Dylan, hit us up, Dylan. We're here for you, dog. Nobody else contact me. Just Dylan.
Just Dylan.
Bro, they don't even want you in the fucking league chat.
All right. We'll see these guys during the season.
I can't wait
Thanks,
for
guys.
that. All right, guys. It has been fun.
I just want to say one thing to the fans and everybody in Gator Nation. I'm sorry. Extremely sorry. You know, we were hoping for an undefeated season. That was my goal.